In the Lonesome Road DLC, if you choose the right dialogue options with Ulysses, you can convince him to let go of his vendetta against you. Doing so ensures he survives after the DLC. When you return to the Divide, Ulysses can be found sitting near the entrance, where you can continue speaking with him through additional dialogue. But did you know that Ulysses will also keep scavenging supplies from Hopeville indefinitely? You can come back every 3 days to collect items like rockets, MREs, Radix, and Radaway from him.
Wind and blood has uncovered more beneath the soil. If you want these old world relics, they're yours. Better you carry them than the marked men.
Many players already know that Ulysses has unique reactions to major events in the Mojave, such as the death of Caesar, but few realize that his reaction actually changes depending on how Caesar dies. If you killed him using surgical tools, you'll get a unique line where your character can say, "Caesar is dead, died on the operating table."
He let another hold a knife to him. If he was weak enough to allow the knife so close to his neck, maybe it needed to be his ending.
In Dead Money, you have to trigger the Gala event in order to access the Sierra Madre casino. To do this, either Dog or God needs to be convinced to stay and operate the switches at the Puesta del Sol switching station. Usually, we all switch Dog's personality to God and convince him through dialogue to do it, or agree to bring him Harvester remains to help keep Dog calm and under control. But what if I told you that you can actually make Dog stay instead of God and have him operate the switches? To do this, talk to Dog first when you arrive, then switch to God and speak with him until he reluctantly agrees to stay and operate the switches, but only if you bring him the Harvester remains to keep him fed. Once you get the objective, immediately play Elijah's voice recording on your Pit-Boy. This will switch God back to Dog.
Why dog eyes go black for a bit? You talk to other voice?
At this point, the only way to make Dog stay is to lock him inside the cage using the terminal. Even if you bring the Harvester remains to Dog, you'll still need to switch him back to the God personality, and once you do, you won't be able to switch him back to Dog again.
Are you listening?
I'm in control. The master won't help Dog now, and it won't help you.
After making the others stay in their designated positions and heading up to the bell tower to trigger the Gala event, you'll now be able to hear Dog instead of God over the speaker.
Dog is scared. Wants out of the cage. Cage you put me in. We'll pull levers. Be good. Just let Dog out.
In Old World Blues, after completing the quest in the XA Research Center, you can use the upgraded sonic emitter on the force field surrounding the Sink's balcony to disable it. Unfortunately, even with the barrier down, the player still can't climb or jump off the balcony onto the dome's roof. However, it is possible to use a sniper rifle from the balcony to pick off enemies that are near the dome. After defeating Father Elijah in the Sierra Madre vault, you can loot his Gauss rifle and robes. An odd little detail about the robes is that if you drop them on the ground, they'll appear red, but when you pick them up and equip them, they turn back to their normal blue color. Breaking the bank at the Sierra Madre casino and getting banned from gambling there will earn you a free deposit of 1,000 chips. Back at the Mojave abandoned bunker, a complimentary voucher will be placed in the wall safe at the bunker once Dead Money is completed. With this voucher, you can redeem the 1,000 chips from the vending machine, effectively allowing you to get unlimited supply of Stimpaks, repair kits, and ammo, as long as you collected the necessary vending machine codes during the DLC. This deposit of chips and vouchers repeats every 3 days, and if you don't collect them, they'll continue to accumulate over time. In the X-13 research facility at Big Empty, Boris's Nightstalkers can be found running loose. For some reason, you can actually pickpocket them and steal their blood? Ideally, you'll want the Animal Friend perk, which makes them non-hostile, or just have high enough sneak. You can also reverse pickpocket a live grenade on them. In the centuries following the Great War, many tribes formed among the survivors in the American Southwest, and some of these tribes even developed their own languages. One such tribe is the Dead Horses, who Joshua Graham believes are the descendants of refugees from a place called Rez. Their language originates from a mix of English, German, and Navajo. In the game files, all of the Dead Horses' spoken lines are translated. For example,
Jatag.
means hello. If you steal something from them, they'll shout,
No! Stelen taba mai!
meaning no thieving raccoon. During combat, they'll yell,
Glavnikan mirda.
think you can fight me? Meanwhile, the Sorrows, another tribe in Zion, speak a language descended from Spanish and English. When greeting you, they'll say,
Katubio, nayu.
which means, I sense you, what's up? If you kill someone in their presence, they may say,
Wamuerna, yegui kwadu wakade.
meaning death comes when it wants. The Whitelegs also speak a unique blend of English, Spanish, and Shoshone. Because they're hostile, we usually only hear their battle lines, such as,
You can nikumpa me.
which translates to, you can't fight me, and
Dayayu.
die you. If you chose to nuke only the NCR at the end of Lonesome Road, the ending slide shows a skeleton clinging to a chain link fence, facing the blast. This is a direct reference to Sarah Connor's nightmare in Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where she's disintegrated by a nuclear explosion while gripping a playground fence. Using the console command Enable Player Controls will allow you to walk around the slideshow theater, which normally consists of a small room with a projection screen at the end of any of the DLCs. For Lonesome Road, if you go into the area behind the slides, you can find a bunch of the characters we only ever hear in Eddie's recordings, like Whitley, Dr. Howard, and the father and kid just standing around. An odd detail is that if you have the Cannibal perk, you can actually consume Vera Keys' skeleton in her room to regenerate health, even though she's literally just bones. The same thing can also be done with the Y-17 trauma override harnesses in Big Empty. This works because these characters are technically just wearing a suit that makes them appear as skeletons. If you remove the suit through the Gek, you'll see that they're actually just regular human NPCs underneath. In the Saturnite Alloy Research Facility, if you jump down into the lava pit, you'll die before even hitting the surface. The lava itself is actually flat, so the player lands on it as if it were solid ground. Instead of creating real, interactive lava, the developers added a script that automatically kills you once you drop past a certain level in the pit. If you look at it in free cam, the lava appears to just be a thin surface, with a flat lava texture applied to it. There's a functioning artillery gun at the X-7A left field artillery launch location, which you can fire from the nearby console. When fired, a shell lands in the X-7B Boomtown target zone, leaving behind a crater. But is it actually possible to get hit by the shell itself and die? Since the shell is supposed to land far across the map, I moved the console to the target zone and positioned myself inside the destroyed house where the shell is supposed to hit. Now let's initiate the test fire. And the house just morphs into a crater with no explosion at all. Clearly this wasn't meant to ever be seen by the player, so you can't be killed by the X-7A artillery, even if you stand right in its impact zone. When you have the Sneering Imperialist perk, many already know about the two unique dialogue options it unlocks in Honest Hearts. One with a Dead Horse Tribal in the Angel Cave, and another with Salt Upon Wounds just before Joshua takes him out. But did you know there's a third dialogue option? It becomes available after siding with Daniel and helping evacuate the Sorrows tribe from Zion. At the Pine Creek Tunnel, you can say to Salt Upon Wounds, "Time to die, General Gobbledeguk."
You mock white legs. You die now!
At the end of Old World Blues, if you avoid killing any of the think tank scientists, complete their side quests, and resolve the final confrontation peacefully through speech checks, you can actually keep returning to the Big Empty every 3 days to collect free supplies from all of the doctors. You can ask Dr. Zero if he has any new discoveries to share. He'll give you 2 scrap electronics and 2 scrap metal. You can go to Dala and tell her you're here for a breather. After she's done doing Dala things, she'll reward you with 2 drained electron charge packs, 3 drained microfusion cells, and 4 drained small energy cells.
Last little bit there.
You can ask Dr. 8 for some goodies as well, and he'll hand over 10 microfusion cells and 10 energy cells. Depending on how you completed Dr. Boros' side quest, he will either give you 3 Cassador eggs and 3 Nightstalker eggs, or 3 Cassador poison glands and 3 Nightstalker blood jars. And of course, Dr. Mobius will always supply you with mentats. A black outline of a person who was seemingly vaporized by a nuclear blast can be found at the Courier's Mile, an irradiated crater where the Ashton missile struck. You can access it through the newly opened road near the entrance to Hopeville, just after exiting the Hopeville missile silo once the DLC is completed. The odd thing about the outline is that, in reality, the opposite would actually occur. Instead of a dark outline, there would be a dark shadow in the shape of a person, surrounded by a lighter surface. These nuclear shadows are the result of thermal radiation from a blast bleaching exposed surfaces. A person standing between the flash and the surface shields it from the radiation, leaving behind the dark shadow instead. An underrated weapon in Dead Money is the clean cosmic knife. It deals 3 times more limb damage to ghost people, and since they're scripted to die instantly when any limb is crippled, it can one-shot them even if your melee skill isn't that high. To get the clean version, you'll need to craft it at a workbench. You'll need 2 regular cosmic knives. One can be found near the fountain, and another inside the police station. In the police station's basement, you can also grab 2 Abraxo cleaners. Then head to the medical clinic and access its basement, where you'll find the workbench needed to craft it. Having this weapon makes dealing with the ghost people much easier. The model number of the Artificial Personality Book Chute Library Processing Unit 232.7 is a hidden reference to Ray Bradbury's novel Fahrenheit 451. 451 degrees Fahrenheit, when converted to Celsius, is 232.7 Celsius. The book depicts a future American society where books are outlawed and firemen burn any that are found. And the literary nods don't stop there. The Book Chute will also reference using a cage over the head and a bag of mole rats.
Now, to begin with, you'll need a cage that can fit over your head and a sack of mole rats.
A direct reference to the torture scene in 1984, both in the book and its film adaptation. In the Honest Hearts DLC, if you ignore the main questline and make your way to the Sorrows camp before meeting Joshua Graham, Daniel, the new Canaanite missionary, will be surprised about your presence there and will have unique dialogue.
I apologize if this comes across as a less than cordial welcome, but how did you get in here? You from the Mojave?
I came in with the Happy Trails caravan. We were attacked by tribals. I'm the only survivor.
That's... I'm so sorry. That's terrible. We've been having a lot of problems with the Whitelegs here in Zion lately. In fact, that's why I'm here. I'm Daniel, a new Canaanite missionary to this tribe, the Sorrows. It's important that you speak to my colleague Joshua Graham at the Dead Horses camp at Eastern Virgin. We can speak again later. Again, I'm very sorry for the deaths of your friends. Do me a favor and go talk to Joshua, all right?
Inside the Puesta del Sol switching station, where you have to take Christine to activate the gala event, there's a hidden corpse with a unique node. First, you'll need to disable the speakers and activate the ventilation system. Once the cloud has cleared out, head back down to the bottom of the area, and behind an overturned platform, you'll find the dead body, wearing the same type of outfit you woke up in back in the villa. On him is a note titled, "See you in hell. Hope you're about dead when you read this. Sierra Madre out of reach could have had it all. Followed that White Arrow graffiti bastard down here. Left those bear traps as presents for you on trail. Hope you like them, head. Hit my own tripwire. You came to take what's mine? Too bad, I got the last laugh. Speakers will kill you before you get out. Then we'll settle things in hell. Sierra Madre's treasure's mine, mine, mine." During your travels through the villa, Dyin and Dog both have comments about certain areas, like the medical clinic or the police station, but on a rare occasion, Dyin, as well as Dog, will have unique reactions to the ruined cafe, located in Puesta del Sol, if you entered the cafe and stayed there for a bit.
The cafe survived? How about that? Had great coffee, and one of the waitresses, Rhonda, piece of work.
Cafe. Food place. Maybe something in kitchen? Like it here.
In the Forbidden Zone Dome, you'll have to defeat Dr. Mobius's X-42 giant Robo-Scorpion. If you have the Robotics Expert perk, you can actually sneak up behind it and deactivate it, which gives you 12 experience points. However, unlike other robots, the Robo-Scorpion will keep rebooting, allowing you to deactivate it again and again, earning unlimited amount of experience points. In Lonesome Road, we can encounter the marked men, tunnelers, deathclaws, and your typical robots. But did you know that in specific places, you can also find good old mole rats in the DLC? They're so rare that even most wikis don't list them as creatures appearing in Lonesome Road. The first encounter happens just after exiting the Sunstone Tower. To the left, you'll spot 2 mole rats hiding under some rubble. The other encounters seem to only happen if you revisit the same area a second time. In the Sunstone Tower area, 2 more will spawn near a blue car, and a family of mole rats can be found where the 2 Deathclaws are, in the Boxwood Hotel rooftop area, but only after finishing the DLC and returning to the Divide. Interestingly, mole rats seem to hate marked men and will immediately attack them on sight. When starting the Dead Money DLC, you'll wake up in the villa with all your gear gone, but there's actually a way to bring over a few quest items that can make dealing with the ghost people a little easier. Quest items can't be dropped and will remain in your inventory until their associated quest is completed. This allows you to take certain items with you, like the Motor Runner's helmet and the Rebreather, as well as weapons such as the missing laser pistol from one of the Brotherhood's side quests. And if you really want to make things easy, you can start Lonesome Road beforehand and acquire the Roar's Talon from the unique Deathclaw Roar. Since it's flagged as a quest item, you can bring it into the villa, then craft it into the Fist of Roar at the workbench in the medical clinic, as long as you have an unarmed skill of at least 75. An even better way is to use a companion glitch to bring most of your gear, and even some backup, into the DLC with you. To do this, you'll need to use a glitch that allows you to have multiple companions at the same time. First, recruit Veronica and help her visit different locations around the Mojave until she starts questioning the Brotherhood's way of doing things. When she initiates dialogue asking to return to Hidden Valley, choose Not Now. Then head back to the Lucky 38 where your other companions are waiting. Dismiss Veronica, recruit another companion, and then return to Veronica to discuss what she wanted to talk about earlier. This time, instead of agreeing to go with her to the bunker, tell her to go alone. This tricks the game into thinking you have no active companions. Now, you can quickly recruit another companion, run back to Veronica, and repeat this dialogue loop to recruit all your companions at once. If you take everyone with you to the abandoned Brotherhood bunker and start the DLC, some of them will actually follow you inside. Not all companions will make it though, so it's best to quick save before entering and test which ones do. Once you know who can enter, reload your save and give all your gear to those companions. That's it, you'll have all your equipment and extra help inside the Sierra Madre. Did you know that the highest intelligence check in all of New Vegas is 9? And it's used when resolving the matter of Dr. O's name? During the side quest What's in a Name, having an intelligence of 9 or higher allows you to say, if you wanted to differentiate the 0 and O, just put a slash through the 0.
What?
0, draw a slash through it.
Did I shoot myself with a brainial beam or something? That's brilliant. I mean, I would have come to the same conclusion. Eventually.
Finishing this side quest also makes Dr. Zero support you during the DLC's ending when you confront Dr. Klein.
Silence, Dr. O. This is a think tank decision. Save your objections until after I have decided our course of action.
You know what, Klein? Stick a straw in your tank and suck yourself. Long and deep. And my name is Zero. Yeah, a big, fat zero with a slash through it.
During the final fight with Ulysses, if you have a maxed out science and repair skill, you can take control of the Eyebots assisting him and turn them against him. Hidden Eyebot control consoles can be found on each side of the facility. These allow you to shut down the Eyebots and reconfigure them to attack Ulysses and the marked men instead. Once reprogrammed, Ulysses will no longer be healed by the medical Eyebot, and you can basically just sit back and watch the fight. The Eyebots will keep attacking and respawning after being destroyed, until both Ulysses and the marked men are dead. It's also a big advantage if you have Eddie with you, since he can't be killed either. The Gunrunner's Arsenal DLC not only adds new weapons, mods, and ammunition, but also several new challenges. One of these is Dyin Ain't Much of a Living, where you must kill 5 NCR Ranger Hit Squad members or Legionary assassins using weapons affected by the Cowboy perk. The challenge's name is a reference to a line spoken by Clint Eastwood's titular character, Josie Wales, in the 1976 film The Outlaw Josie Wales. In the scene, Josie responds to a bounty hunter with the line,
"Dyin ain't much of a living, boy."
Another challenge named Vault 13's Revenge requires you to kill 15 super mutants using specific weapons like the 5.56mm pistol, plasma defender, plasma grenades, power fist, ripper, or the Bozar. The whole challenge and the name is a reference to the events of Fallout 1 and 2. All of the required weapons except the Bozar were available to the Vault Dweller from Vault 13, who faced the threat of the super mutant army, the Unity, during their quest for the water chip. The Bozar would later appear in Fallout 2. The White Line Nightmare Challenge, where you have to kill 20 members of the Fiends, Vipers, or Jackals using the following weapons: the Magnum Revolver, baseball bat, machete, sawed-off shotgun, or tire iron, is a reference to the 1981 movie Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior and its opening monologue.
On the roads, it was a white line nightmare.
Did you know that the Lobotomites from Old World Blues were originally intended to appear in Fallout 2? They actually show up in one of Fallout's loading screens, where the Chosen One is ambushed by a group of Lobotomites and is helped by a renegade Brotherhood soldier. Apparently, those enemies were supposed to be Lobotomites rather than raiders. The whole idea was cut early in development though. Some other ideas for the Old World Blues DLC were also taken from past unreleased works, from Fallout 2 and Van Buren. Elements from the cut Environmental Protection Agency were later recycled for the DLC, and the design of the Big Empty is largely taken from the early development of Boulder Dome from Van Buren, a massive scientific research facility overshadowing the city of Boulder. Inside that dome lived a desperate team of scientists who had been infected by a strange disease known as the New Plague. The theme, location, climate, and overall design of the Sierra Madre in Dead Money are loosely inspired by the 1948 film The Treasure of the Sierra Madre. In the movie, a group of prospectors hunt for gold in the Sierra Madre Mountains, battling bandits, harsh conditions, and most dangerously, their own growing greed. Did you know that you can get the Dead Man's Hand achievement in the Sierra Madre by picking up the card at the Villa's Fountain, dropping it, and picking it up again a total of 5 times? Because Sierra Madre cards don't auto-add to your caravan deck, you can manipulate them from your inventory. When starting the Honest Hearts DLC, if you've worked for the Crimson Caravan and completed Alice McLafferty's quests, Jed, the Caravan Master, will actually recognize you when you first meet him.
Howdy, friend. Heard my little broadcast, did you? Yeah, you look the type. Wait a minute, I recognize you. Yeah, you're Alice McLafferty's rising star, ain't you? You sure you want to be here? McLafferty's non-competes are pretty rigid.
Alternatively, if you killed McLafferty, he'll also recognize you but say this instead.
Hang on. Ain't you the one that wiped out the Crimson Caravan's Vegas branch not too long ago? Ought to thank you for that. Knocking McLafferty out of the running gives Happy Trails a market to expand into.
You can explore the Sierra Madre freely after completing the story, but once you leave, there's no way to return. However, it's still possible to go back using console commands. By activating no-clip via TCL and clipping under the radio at the abandoned Brotherhood bunker, you'll find a hidden door. Using the door will take you back to the villa, with all the ghost people still alive, the holograms active, and you'll even get to keep your stuff. If you love using chems and get the Day Tripper perk, a new player dialogue line will appear when first meeting Dr. Mobius, when he offers you a mentat.
Would you care for a mentat?
I don't know, I'm tripping pretty hard right now.
I love mentats. Delicious and smarty.
Due to a mistake by the Dead Money developers, the perk in Shining Armor, which is supposed to grant a temporary +5 damage threshold against energy weapons while wearing any kind of metallic armor, and an additional +2 while wearing a reflective helmet, actually doesn't work at all. The issue comes from the parameters the game checks when determining an enemy's weapon skill type. Instead of checking for energy weapons, the script looks for energy. Because there's no weapon skill called energy, the function is weapon skill type never returns the value needed to activate the perk's effect, so the perk simply never triggers. Have you ever noticed that Ulysses is actually watching you during your travels through the Divide? From my research and looking through the GEC, he can be seen a total of 2 times. The first is in the High Road area, at Crow's Nest, a location made of 2 collapsed buildings leaning over the highway, and the others when you're on the roof of the Sunstone Tower. If you look to the left, you can spot Ulysses walking off inside another destroyed building. The challenge Ulysses Odyssey requires the player to find and acquire all 6 holotapes recorded by Ulysses that are scattered throughout the Divide. The challenge's name is a reference to the Odyssey, the epic poem written by Homer, which tells the story of the legendary hero Odysseus and his years-long journey home from the Trojan War, facing countless threats and obstacles along the way. While Ulysses is the Latinized version of Odysseus, its use here is also a callback to the character's claim that he took the name from the US President Ulysses Grant, not from the mythical hero. On top of the think tank's dome, a hidden dead follower of the apocalypse can be found, with a doctor's bag, 3 stimpaks, and a super stimpak on them. What's their story? No one really knows. Maybe they were another victim of the think tank, or perhaps they stumbled into Big Empty the same way Elijah and Ulysses did, but didn't make it out. To reach them, go to the think tank's entrance, and use the slanted wall to jump onto the lamps attached to the side of the wall. From there, carefully jump onto one of the lamps to get a bit higher, and then jump onto the side of the dome. Once you're up there, carefully make your way around to the other side to find the body. Mentioned by Jet and Stella are the 80s, a tribe of raiders said to live in the northern regions of what used to be Utah, near the shores of the Great Salt Lake. What's interesting is that this faction never actually appears in the game, or in any Fallout game at all. Despite that, their fate is indirectly tied to the outcome of the Honest Hearts DLC. According to the ending slides, if the Whitelegs are defeated by the Courier and Joshua Graham, but Salt Upon Wounds is spared, the tribe's oldest enemy, the 80s, take advantage of their downfall. They scatter the Whitelegs and eventually conquer the Great Salt Lake for themselves. Likewise, if Salt Upon Wounds is killed by the Courier at the Three Marys, the 80s go even further and completely annihilate the Whitelegs to the last man. But their rapid territorial expansion comes at a price. The remaining tribes of Zion eventually unite against the 80s and drive them away from Highway 50. It's pretty interesting to imagine these big tribal wars and what they would have looked like. Did you know that you can ask Joshua Graham about Salt Upon Wounds before facing him? For some players, this dialogue option doesn't appear, likely due to a bug. Before evacuating the Sorrows or waging war on the Whitelegs, you can ask Joshua, "What do you know of Salt Upon Wounds?"
He's a butcher. Believe me, I know the godless fire that burns in his heart. I've been burned by it myself. He's not the kind to let his subordinates do all the killing. No, he likes to have a hand in it, with that spear of his. He's fashioned himself an abomination before the eyes of the Lord. I'm happy to serve as an instrument of divine justice.
Have you ever taken a closer look at Legion coins, especially the denarius? On the back, you can actually see a carved portrait of Joshua Graham, Edward Salo, and Bill Calhoun, the original trio before Edward became Caesar and Joshua his legate. In Higgs Village, inside Dr. O's house numbered 000, on the second floor in the room with his computers and monitors, there's a poster of the Museum of Technology from Fallout 3, perhaps intentionally placed there as a reference to the previous game. In the quest coming out of her shell, the phrase the courier speaks at Dala's request, "The quick scribe jumped over the lazy paladin," was previously spoken by Christine in the Sierra Madre after recovering from her surgery and testing her new voice.
The quick scribe jumped over the lazy paladin.
The perk Math Wrath, which reduces action point costs by 10%, has 2 unique dialogue options that only appear if you have this perk. One is with Christine, just after rescuing her from the auto dock and questioning her about her head scar and brain surgery. You're able to say, "You can still do math." That's good to hear. The other is with Dr. O, or Zero, during the conversation about his name, Zero, after passing the 9 intelligence dialogue check. Well, there's power in Zero. It reduces anything multiplied against it to 0.
Well, of course it does. That's the most lethal of mathematics. That's pretty cool, actually. Destroyer of numbers. I already wreck every robot I study. Why not basic arithmetic?
If you're a snow globe collector, here are all the locations of the snow globes in all 4 major DLCs. In Dead Money, the Sierra Madre snow globe can be found in Salida del Sol north. To get to it, start from the fountain in the villa and head to the door to Salida del Sol south first. From there, go straight, then to your right until you see a vending machine. From the vending machine, go left into the poisoned cloud. Keep left until you see a door to Salida del Sol house, located at the top of a set of stairs. Go down the stairs, then go to your right again. Go up the next set of stairs and jump onto the roof. From there, go straight and left until you see a hole in the second level of a ruined house. The snow globe is inside, sitting on a crate. In Honest Hearts, the snow globe can be found in the Zion General Store, in the northwestern section of Zion Park, a place you have to visit anyway during the quest Tourist Trap. It's located in the cabinet behind the counter with the cash register on it, on the bottom shelf. The big empty snow globe is found in the X-17 meteorological station. From the replica of Higgs Village, follow the catwalk that leads to the chamber with the terminal used to activate the weather test. The snow globe will be sitting on a computer console. The Lonesome Road snow globe is located at the Junction 7 rest stop, near the end of the high road. Once you reach the point where the road ends, head downhill to the right side of the overpass to find the destroyed building. The snow globe is inside an October bookshelf on the 2nd floor. An interesting dialogue response you might not know about appears when talking to Ulysses for the first time. If you're playing a female courier who had joined and sided with the Legion, Ulysses will express surprise that a woman is serving in the Legion and will somewhat insult you.
It's not Legion. The Legion I know. But they change, even in small ways as they march west. With every tribe they break. But yes, last I heard, you needed a weapon between your legs to carry one for Caesar.
Is that why you're not Legion anymore then?
What do you... I see the way of it. Have fight in you at least. Save it for the road ahead.
Dean Domino's blackmail evidence holotape can be found in his safe in the backstage area of the Tampico Theater. Usually when you play it, it only plays the very first sentence of the tape.
Pretty as a picture.
Because of how the audio lines for this holotape were implemented, the tape is bugged and can't be played in its entirety. This is the full recording.
Pretty as a picture.
Dean, I didn't hear you come in.
I'm not wearing my dancing shoes, so I walk a little softly now. What? You think I was a Chinaman, come to cut your American throat?
Dean, really?
What? No hug? Come here.
Dean, I'm getting ready.
You sing like a bird, pop the safe, and we're as through can be.
Dean,
don't know. I ask one simple favor of you, and you tell me no.
I didn't say no. I just said that I don't think...
You're right, you don't think. I don't need you. I'll send you back to the farm, worse off than you were, because you'll have seen the Sierra Madre and had to let it all go. I could have gotten any leggy dame out of Hollywood to get out here and play Sinclair's heartstrings. You just happened to be the one I caught. And it was really your own fault. A little too much into the chems and meds and... Oh, shh, don't cry. Look, I'm not trying to hurt you. Just one last little job. A little less dirty. A little less messy. He trusts you, Vera. And so do I. After this, I promise you, all those other holotapes, they'll go away.
Of course, Dean.
Here's also a small tip when dealing with Domino in the Tampico. You can use a grenade to destroy the last emitter in the theater, the one backstage where Dyin is. If you throw it behind the curtain, the blast will travel through the wall and destroy the emitter. The Gunrunner's Arsenal DLC challenge Nay 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 Nay, which tasks the player to cripple 5 right arms with a shotgun, is a reference to a scene from the 1987 science fiction movie RoboCop, where the main antagonist Clarence Boddicker points and aims his shotgun at various parts of a captured Alex Murphy's body, while imitating a beeping Nay 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 sound before shooting off his right hand. The image for Dead Money's achievement, Assemble Your Crew, is a reference to the 1970s sitcom The Brady Bunch, specifically its opening sequence, which ends with a blue grid displaying each of the show's main characters. In Honest Hearts, whether you choose to side with Joshua and fight the Whitelegs, or follow Daniel's plan, Joshua will still join you as a companion during the final quest. Even though the companion wheel appears, you can't actually command him to carry your gear, start dialogue, or dismiss him.
No thanks. Sorry, that's not going to happen. The time for talk has passed. The Lord's work must be done.
He's basically a forced, temporary companion who sticks with you until you reach a certain stage in the quest. There are many unique, one-of-a-kind weapons in the DLCs, but Old World Blues features one that would be truly unique, if only an exact copy didn't exist not too far away. The weapon is Elijah's advanced LAER. One can be found at the Lil Yangtze detention camp, and the other on the roof of the Signal Hill transmitter. It's one of the rarest non-unique weapons in the entire game. Perhaps Elijah was dual-wielding these things, while fighting off robots and other creatures in the Big Empty. The name and icon for the New Vegas' Samurai achievement is a reference to the Palm Pictures movie Six String Samurai. The guitar, sword, and glasses are referencing the film's main character, Buddy. Much like New Vegas, the movie was set in a post-apocalyptic Nevada and Las Vegas after a devastating nuclear war. In Old World Blues, when confronting Dr. Mobius in the Forbidden Zone Dome, he may refer to a group of murderers who were looking for a heart, a brain, and courage, or a spine, which they had all along.
In short, brains, a heart, and courage. Spine. I think there was a story once where a band of murderous thugs sought these things. They had them all the time in the story. Didn't stop them from murdering to get them. And it won't stop the think tank either.
This is a reference to the cast of The Wizard of Oz. In the beginning of Honest Hearts, when talking to Ricky, he'll claim to have defeated and killed a Brotherhood soldier in power armor. If you have the power armor training perk, a unique dialogue response becomes available, calling out Ricky's BS.
Before he knows what hit him, I draw my 11mm machine gun and bam, bam, right through the eye slit in his helmet. DOA.
What a load of crap. The eye slits of the T-Series power armor are bulletproof.
Then I guess this dumb's armor must have been D-Series or something. All I know is he died up real dead when I killed him, okay?
If you're roleplaying as a cannibal and have the cannibal perk in Dead Money, a unique dialogue option can appear with Dog, where you can ask him, do you know how the ghost people taste?
Tastes like plastic and copper. Gas inside, in pockets. When teeth sinks into them. Dog doesn't like to eat them always, sometimes so many. Started eating them because wouldn't go quiet when Dog smashed them with Bear Jaw. Only want one.
This will also grant you the Ghost Hunter perk. The name of the Lonesome Road challenge and achievement, Condemned to Repeat It, is a reference to a quote by Spanish philosopher and novelist George Santayana from his work Reason and Common Sense. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. The achievement ties directly into the courier's past involvement in the destruction of the Divide, exactly as Ulysses explains throughout the DLC. But that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and check out my other Fallout New Vegas videos next. Thanks for watching.